Okay, it's recording now. Sorry about that, guy. But
All right, good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, October 21st, 2021, 7 p.m. This is the Leadership Committee meeting. Jeremy, I guess for recording purposes, do you want to just tell me who's in the meeting for attendance purposes? Or Harriet?
I thought I was unmuted and I kept talking.
Sorry.
You hear me?
Yes.
So I got you, Vice Chairman of the Board, Chairman of the Committee, Al D'Angelo, Chairman of the Board, Veronica Castro, Treasurer, Hazel Mira, Secretary. I do not oral. I got Andrew Siegel, Community Development Chair. Joe Thompson
has joined the meeting.
It was Joe Baycoat. Did anybody hear who that was?
I think that's the rabbi who just joined.
Okay, so I'll get to them. So Andrea, Community Development, Joe Thompson in? Anyone know? Bernadette's in. I don't see John Johnson. I don't see Joe Baycoat. Hazel is the Housing Chair. Ken Gelnick is the Land Use Chair. Lisa Soto is Parks Chair. I have these people. Veronica Castro is Public Safety Chair. I do not see Joanne Tirlon.
A participant has joined the meeting.
And I got Rabbi Fuchs. You said Rabbi Fuchs joined? Rabbi, you said?
Yeah, I thought I heard something, but
well, we have two caller-ins, so if they can identify themselves, if they're a member of the board or the committee, that way we don't mark them absent. That would be great. I got a 737 number and a 917 number. And then we have a new board member who's not a member of the committee that's joining us is Arnela Bashiri.
all right, looks like those two phone numbers are probably not board members, so we'll leave them there. All right, before we get really started.
Baycoat.
Okay. Oh, Bayco just
Hey,
joined.
Mr. Baycoat.
Has joined the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. I'm looking for volunteers for someone to take minutes. Do we have any volunteers?
I already started.
Oh, perfect. Hazel, you're the best.
I know.
If only every committee has a Hazel, we would not have as many issues. But we'll get to that a little later. We'll start with the minutes. The minutes for last month. They had a link in the agenda. Thank you for including that link in the agenda, Jeremy. So I'm going to call for a motion to approve last month's minutes, leadership minutes. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Bernadette. Discussion? Anyone?
I do have a discussion.
For the minutes from last month?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
There was just one question. I know I had spoke to Jeremy, and I know I wasn't at the full board meeting. I was excused, but I was just wondering, I understand that the Conti's activity, the activity permit was, there was like 13 to 12. So I was wondering, did he ever get his activity permit? I was wondering if anybody knew.
That's not really a question for the leadership committee. But,
Well, I'm new.
No, it's okay. I mean, it was an issue at the full board. I don't know if you want to discuss that here, or I could call you after the meeting, maybe.
Okay, no, I just thought that somebody. Never mind. If we're not to discuss it here, it's okay. Not a problem.
All right, no worries. Any further discussion on last month's minutes? Anyone against? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody.
So
What's next on the agenda, Jeremy?
the full board agenda, but the link is, I wasn't able to get the draft agenda up in time. So I'm just going to share my screen, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
The same for the October or the November calendar. It's actually linked to October. So my apologies for that too. Everybody see my screen? Zoom in.
Not yet.
That's
It was coming up. There it goes. I see it.
So next 27th, again, flex, allegiance,
Yep.
on the silence, chairman's report, treasurer's report, secretary's report, manager's report.
Jeremy,
Committee
you
reports.
removed the NYPD, right?
Yeah, I figured them. Yeah, I don't need them again.
No, because I think they're going to attend the Public Safety Committee meeting. If Veronica can get them.
As a placeholder.
Hi, Joe, what's up?
I would prefer if they attended the Public Safety Committee meeting.
Take this inside.
And
I can't.
Harriet, you need to mute yourself.
Yeah, I just muted her.
Okay, Veronica.
Yeah, they're on schedule to be at the public safety meeting on Monday, and we've been trying to make sure that we schedule them in for every public safety meeting. So anyone who wants to hear from them or ask them questions can join the public safety committee meeting.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I was trying to get that going a couple of years ago to try to maybe have their presence at the full board meeting, but they don't need to give us crime stats. They can give it to the Public Safety Committee, and the Public Safety Committee can maybe take those the crime stats, because they usually give us a piece of paper that you can attach to the minutes of the public safety minutes. So that way everybody has them for the full board meeting. Maybe that's one way to do it so we can save time, as we saw last month. It's always great to hear from them, but their crime stats sometimes take 5-10 minutes. And then with the back and forth, it takes another 5-10 minutes. And there goes 25 minutes of the meeting just on the NYPD. So.
Yeah, I can
Jeremy, you can
absolutely ask them for that.
Yeah, so Jeremy, leave them out this month. We'll try it out. And we'll see how it works for next month, if everybody's okay with it.
Okay, and you can see here I'm editing the economic development. All four of these were approved last night, to my knowledge. Right? Veronica, you were there, right?
Yes, they were approved.
All right, so I'll update this. And community development, we should probably have on there for our budget priorities, Andrea, right?
For what reason?
Vote on, it's up to you.
No, I don't have anything to discuss.
Hey guys,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
the
here.
budget priority
My
requests are
phone
the
was
same as
my
last year, right?
Computer's acting up.
Oral's joined us. You say something, Oral?
Yeah, I'm here. My phone, my computer has been acting up today. I've been trying to log on.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, great. I'm here now. Sorry about that.
And so, community development. We'll see what happens tonight with leadership, if anything. Economic development, we just discussed. Transportation, I don't know if there were any motions. I think that's Rabbi that's in. Let me get rid of community development. I'll just take you off it, Andrea, unless there's something you need or want to announce.
Participant has left the meeting.
Health.
Transportation.
Yeah, Rabbi.
Yeah, so what did you say about transportation? I don't know what you said.
Did you have any motions at your last meeting?
Last meeting? No, sir. Don't believe so.
All right, I'm renaming Rabbi.
Okay.
Who else? Any committee? Joe Baco, you want to give a report? Housing. You had homeless services. You want to give a report, Hazel? I don't know if you sent me minutes already. Parks
Yeah,
and Rec, you guys.
Yeah, I'll give a report.
Okay. Anybody not want me to keep all these here? Joanne Tierlonge is not here from my knowledge, but everybody else, Parks, Health,
I mean, for
Transportation.
parks, if, we didn't have any motions, and I'll get you minutes. So I don't necessarily think I need to take time on the agenda if the minutes will be distributed to people.
Okay. So I'll just take you off then, unless you want to talk.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Kenneth Gelnick.
So
Has joined the meeting.
So, Rabbi, do you want me to keep you on the agenda if you didn't have any motions? Do you want to give a report?
The only thing I can talk about is those bicycles.
Yeah, that might. Do you? Well, the question is, do you want to go there? That's the real question.
Not really, because did we send a letter to anybody with those bicycles?
No, not that I know of. You were going to give me a draft, I thought. Draft letter.
Okay, so you know what? I will try to do a draft by Monday. And
I did make another. Sorry to interrupt you. I did make another connection with Bird, so I have a contact at Bird now, in addition to VO. And though I don't have anything for Lime yet. I don't have a contact at Lime yet.
Okay, so let me try to write something up about those two companies we'll send it to, and I guess we carbon copy DOT, and we'll talk about their letter.
All right, and just so everybody's, I got some echoing, so if you could mute yourself, Ken, maybe. Are you in twice, Ken? Let me see. There's some type of echoing. All right, so also just so everybody's aware, Bird reached out to me about doing helmet giveaways, stuff like that. If you know of any events or anything, let me know. So let me go back to share the agenda.
Wait, who contacted you about the helmet?
Bird. There's VO, Bird, and Lime. And Bird, a company contacted me about doing.
I thought that was a name. Sorry.
No, it's a company. It's one of the scooter companies.
Why do you think
Sorry.
Why do you think they're giving away helmets all of a sudden? Because business is bad?
Just a point of information. I was at a Jacoby meeting last week, and it was mentioned at the Jacoby meeting that 2 people a week are brought into the emergency room because of the scooters. So maybe that's something that has to be looked into. That's just Jacoby Hospital. That's not the urgent cares or people that are hurt. So it would be a good idea to find out how many people are injured by these scooters and present that to the scooter companies. And maybe the rabbi can put that in his letter.
That's
okay,
great.
that's a good point.
That's very good.
Is that severe injuries or it's just scratches on the knees, or you don't know that?
I don't know. I know they were brought into the emergency room, so I guess that has to be fairly serious, I would think. And he said they average about 2 a week.
Hey, Rabbi, would you be able to work with Veronica? I think, Veronica, this might be like a joint thing you can work with the Transportation Committee, because I think it touches both committees.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
I don't know what the letter is about. Does anyone want to give a summary?
Right now, summary will be all the issues, recommended remedies, going to put you out of business, but we need you to make some changes. That would be summary.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And that's about all we can do. Like we said, we can't come in like vigilantes and say, throw all your bikes in the garbage. We don't want them here. Because some people are actually saying there are some advantages, that they could get to school and they could get to the doctor here. So I don't think we could go in with a total negative attitude.
Okay. Going back to the agenda.
I have a question with
Yep.
regards to transportation. This was supposed to be a pilot program. Did they ever give us a time frame?
No, but I'm under the impression it's going to be expanded.
It was supposed to be a 3-year pilot program.
Oh, okay.
And originally it was supposed to be much larger. It was shrunken inside thanks to a friend of mine at the Department of Transportation.
Okay.
All right, so let me go back to the full board agenda. Joe Baycoat, you want to give a report or not for the full board meeting? I don't know if you voted on anything. Press star 6 to unmute. Other session to be determined. The officials. I think I have them all finally. Is there anything else for the full board agenda? That's economic development. Motions. So Joe, you just joined. I got your renewals from last night. I know you weren't at the meeting last night, but we got 4 renewals. All right. Good, Yahe, with full board agenda?
Yeah, you have me on there because I'm going to call for a motion tonight to add the secretary position to all the committees.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a motion. So if you want to move me up, you want me to call for the motion now? Might as well, right?
Yep, might as well.
All right. So here's the deal, folks. As you know, I've been nagging everybody for probably a year regarding the minutes. A lot of the committees, we barely get a quorum. And when we do, unfortunately, the minute of some of the meetings take place and we don't have someone to take minutes. And while a chair of a committee has accepted the responsibility or volunteered for the job or was appointed to the position to become chair of a committee, it's a big responsibility. And to add the responsibility of having to take minutes for that meeting just adds more work. So what we've been pushing for is to have each chair select a co-chair. That's number one. And I think I already saw that Veronica from Public Safety already reached out to some of the members asking if one of them would like to volunteer to become co-chair of the committee. I'd like everybody to do the same. If you don't have a co-chair, please have someone. If tonight you weren't able to make it, contact your co-chair, have them join us tonight. So it's very, very important that we have a chair and a co-chair on each committee. So with that being said, since the co-chair plays a big role in the committee, I'm trying to get a secretary position for each committee because we really need it. We have it for the full board, but we're missing that for each committee. And I believe the more responsibility you give someone, the more likely they're going to attend the meeting. So, for example, I'm the chair of the Public Safety Committee. I have to be at that meeting. It's all me. It's basically my meeting. If I'm the co-chair, I'm going to be there because looks like I'm going to be next to become chair of the committee, most likely. So I'd like to be there. And just in case the chair can't be there, I'm going to be there. Now, if I'm the secretary of that committee, well, how's the meeting going to take place if I'm not there to take minutes? So it adds more responsibility to more members of the committee. It gets them to attend. So now you have a chair, a co-chair, and a secretary. For most committees, that's a quorum right there. So that's what we're trying to really get to, is to have the minutes up to date, have the minutes taken on time, in a timely fashion, because we're having issues there. So I'm going to call for a motion to amend the bylaws and add a secretary position to each standing committee. Do I have a second?
I'll second. It's Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
So,
Discussion. Now it's open for discussion. I know I'm going to hear some discussion here.
yeah,
I would like to say something if possible.
go ahead, Andrea.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I reached out to a number of my members and nobody wanted to be co-chair, or they never got back to me. So I take my own minutes and I send them in on a timely basis, and I don't have a problem doing that. I don't need a co-chair because I cannot depend on the other members. So I make it my business to, when we do have a meeting, I make it my business and I'm there and I take the minutes.
Understood, Andrea. And I understand what you're doing, and you're great and you're reliable. This is, if we had 50 Andreas and Hazels, this would be like a perfect running board. But unfortunately, we don't. And we have 10 new members, I think. So we need to train the future. We need to train the new generation. We need to move forward, and we need to have it as teamwork.
I'm not arguing the point. I'm just saying that maybe some stipulation should be made that not every committee needs to have a co-chair and a secretary, and let it be up to the chair to decide that, and not the full board.
I'd like to make a comment, Joe Thompson. I
Go ahead,
think it's necessary. It's totally necessary to have a co-chair. For instance, last night I couldn't be at my meeting, and Joanne, who's the co-chair, could step right in and conduct business as usual without a problem. And I think that we have to designate people to take the responsibility. We can't leave it up to the membership if the chair is not there. So I would definitely vote to have a co-chair and also a secretary. We are also fortunate that we have Joanne and we have Veronica and we have Edith. And if necessary, I'll take the minutes but we have volunteers. We have people that want to step up and do it. And I think that's part of being on a board. You have to make sure the committees function and function properly. So you need a co-chair and you do need a secretary. The minutes have to be taken. And the chair can't do that and run the meeting at the same
A
time.
participant has joined the meeting.
Roxanne.
That's my
Go
comment.
Has left the
can-
meeting.
Hi, I'd like to say something. I kind of agree with Andrea.
Has
I
left the
don't
meeting.
I don't always have a quorum. Once, my co-chair doesn't always attend my meetings, so I don't have that many people on my committee right now. So I'm just taking my own minutes. I'm used to it, so it doesn't really bother me. But I don't I think it should be left up to the chair and maybe the co-chair to decide if they need a secretary.
I think it's Al D'Angelo. I think if we put the burden on the chair, I agree with you. Everybody should have a chair and a co-chair. But I think then the chair or the co-chair should make the decision on who's taking the minutes that day. As Andrea said, sometimes you don't have a quorum. You don't have enough people at your meetings. Sometimes there's only, 2 or 3 people that attend. So it's up to the chairman to make sure that that the minutes are taken. So whoever chairs that committee, it's their responsibility to make sure that someone takes the minutes. And if not, then it's on them. And Yaha's right. We're putting a burden on the chair. But hopefully now with the co-chair, either the chair or the co-chair has to take the minutes unless they designate one of the other members that are present.
This is Lisa. Yeah, I agree in theory, but at least in my meetings, I cannot ever get anyone to take minutes. Like they just refuse for various reasons. So I mean,
Perfectly
trying to
stated,
get a
Lisa.
secretary, I don't think would actually work.
Well, here's the thing. I'll be honest with everybody. I'm tired of people attending meetings and not saying a word at the committee meeting if you're a board member. If you're just there to check a box and just sit in a meeting, no. I want people to have a responsibility. I want people to sense that they are giving back. They are doing something for the committee. That's what I'm trying to get people to be more active in committees. And one way to do it, like you said, I mean, I did it a couple of months ago where I said, anyone would like to take minutes? Anyone? Anyone? And it was Hazel for the 100th time in a row that volunteered again, you know? So it shouldn't be that way. We should all be able to help each other. And I'm tired of members in committees. The chair is asking, do I have anyone to take minutes? And 4 people are staring at the chair. They don't want to take minutes. Really? Is that what it's coming down to? You won't take one responsibility during that meeting? That's really disappointing. And you know what? That's why I'm making this motion, is to have someone in that position, you know, and to take that responsibility, to take the burden off the chair of asking for volunteers, of having to do it themselves. Let's get more people involved. This helps us all.
Yeah, hey, your sentiment is appreciated, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that, at least not on my committee. A number of months ago, somebody decided they would take the minutes. I never saw them, so I ended up having to do them again myself. It's sometimes it's just easier for I'd rather do it myself. This way I don't have to be on somebody's back. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? And I also, to Al, I asked 2 people on the committee if they wanted to be a co-chair. I asked them in June 28th. As of today, neither one wants to be chair or never got back to me. And I mentioned, and I told Jeremy about this, and he said, take it up with you. But if they're not interested, I don't want to force somebody.
Well, sometimes, and if you want answers, you tell me who you'd like, I'll just appoint them, that's it.
But that
Exactly.
serves no purpose.
I know you see it that way, Andrea, but I think it's just getting people involved. And I've told folks
I agree with you 200%. But you cannot, I cannot force somebody to do something, and then when they don't do it, it comes back to me. It's still my responsibility. So if it's going to be my responsibility, I might as well take the responsibility from the beginning.
Can we try it for this year and see what happens? If it doesn't work and we meet again in September next year and you say, you know what, I'm calling for a motion to amend the
No,
bylaws again.
I think it's a great motion. I just said, like before, I think there should be exceptions on some committees where the chair should have the option of appointing somebody or doing it themselves. It should be my decision and not the full board's decision.
Yes, I agree. Can I say something with regards to this? In the past, I've taken the minutes many times in the Youth and Education Committee. And what I found out is as I was taking notes, I was basically missing a lot of what the meeting was. And I was not, even though I was taking the minutes, my focus was on getting a lot of information. And I felt it was a relief after a while that the meeting was recorded so that somebody else could take the minutes. Or, I mean, as chair, I wouldn't mind having it recorded to have that as a choice in case I cannot get somebody to take the minutes. And then I could transcribe it later. So that could be a choice. I would like that to be a choice, to have an option.
I just cannot see going into a meeting without having all the pieces in place. And I'm fortunate, believe me, in in my committee and our committee, everyone there could be chairperson. Everybody there could be co-chair. It's a very talented committee.
Has joined the
It's a very
meeting.
committed committee. And luckily, they just take turns as it comes along. Edith will take it over. Veronica will take it over. And there's not a problem at all. But for committees that cannot have a person to represent and take the minutes, because the chair should not be taking the minutes, because the chair has to consider everything that's going on. And writing and considering is two different things, and it's very difficult to do and keep your concentration. So as far as I'm concerned, if I didn't have anybody that could take the minutes, anybody who could not or would not be co-chair, I would be at a loss. But I'm fortunate because I have a co-chair, and I'm fortunate because I have 3 different people that will take the minutes. But if you don't have a committee like that, you need somebody who's going to be taking the minutes.
So there should be
So you
options,
can
because
concentrate.
there are a lot of other committees that don't have that.
So
Yeah, well,
Ken Galnick
I'm,
would like to say something. Ken hasn't said
wait,
anything yet.
oh, I'm sorry, can I just jump in? Joe, I'm so happy that your committee works that way. My committee doesn't work that way. I don't have a choice but to take my own minutes, because sometimes I'm the only committee member at the meeting. So I don't feel like I don't have a problem taking my minutes. And yes, sometimes, I am writing and not really, I'm not going to say I miss the, parts of the meeting, but sometimes I forget to write what I'm saying, and then I have to
Absolutely.
catch up to myself. But I'm not fortunate that way. If we can get other members to join the housing committee, which is a very important committee, just like all of them, maybe I wouldn't have that problem. But I don't think that I should be forced to pick someone, especially if that person doesn't exist for me. So it's a good idea. I do have a co-chair, and I don't mind taking my minutes. Like Andrea said, she doesn't mind. I don't mind either. So, but I don't think that anybody should be forced to do a job they don't want to do. I
Ken,
think that we should enforce attendance so that people that are on the committee show up to the committee.
Yeah,
Ken Galnick would like to say something. He hasn't said anything yet tonight. Ken?
it's a good idea, but why don't you make it that every committee has the option to appoint the secretary? And like Adrian was saying, it'd be much better. It's a position that's there, but if you don't have anybody that's going to accept it anyways, you can't make it mandatory.
I understand, Ken, but here's the issue we're running into. The minutes, they're not being done in some of the committees. And if it wasn't for the minutes, we wouldn't be having this discussion. The second thing is to give that option over to the chair of the committee. That's what we do now when we tell the chair, ask someone to volunteer to take the minutes. They don't get anybody. Appoint someone to take the minutes. They don't do that.
Yeah,
So why not take the pressure off of them and say, hey, it was voted. I got to select someone. Anyone? No volunteers? Let's take turns, everybody. How about you be the secretary for the rest of the year? All right, you can be secretary January through March. You can be secretary April through June. Let's help each other out. Let's do something. I just want to take that pressure off of the chair. But if we do this tally and no one wants it, that's fine. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, hey, I've tried setting up a schedule with my committee, and they don't want to commit in advance. But then they say, well, we'll decide the day of, and then when the meeting happens the day of, I ask again, can someone take the minutes? And no one can take it. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I like the sentiment of what you're proposing, but if we can't get people to even volunteer to take minutes, I don't think we're going to get someone to volunteer to be a secretary.
Please, and this is the same for everybody. Why not you appoint a chair? you appoint a co-chair, appoint a secretary. Make that plain and simple when you're selecting your committees. The same thing, the chair, the co-chair, and the secretary, and it takes the onus off of everybody. To me, that sounds like the only way to kind of do this
Joe,
and make
you're
sure
very
it's done.
Joe, you're very fortunate that you have people on your committee that actually come to meetings and want to do stuff. Myself and other committees here are in the same boat, as myself. We have people that do not show up, and we still have to have our meeting. So it's much, I can't, and these people don't even want to be co-chair, yet alone a secretary.
Well,
So
This is part of
the illness
being on the
then-
board.
it's not working for
This is all
everybody.
part of being on the
Excuse me,
board.
guys,
though.
let me see if I can cut through this. The illness then falls upon me. If you're having problems with your committee and you're not getting people to come to your committee, then if you let me know, I will make it right. I will either appoint different people to your committee, remove the people that are dead wood, and that's what they are. If they're on a committee, they should be attending it. If they're not, then they're dead wood. We'll remove them, put someone else there. And then also talk to the elected official that appointed that person and tell them, look, you appointed someone who's a no-show, and it's not helping this, our community board. So if you contact me and you talk to me about your committee, I will do what I have to do. That's on me.
And I think that's the proper way to go.
Okay, I would like, as a new chair, I'd like an option. I'd like an option to be able to have a tape recorder. Have we totally ruled that out? Because bottom line, if a meeting has to go on and this is an obstacle, okay, until it gets fixed, a chair needs, if not a person, then a tape recorder to basically go back and transcribe. I would like that as an option.
Well, it depends on the meeting, first of all. So this is Jeremy. So in person, yeah, we have tape recorders, right? In person, WebEx, this meeting, you have to, by law, record the WebEx meeting. Just a couple of points of order, which I think maybe it's not an issue anymore. So Yahe, you want, well, first of all, for a bylaw proposal, you do have to put it in writing. You can vote tonight, but you can't vote at the full board meeting. You do have to, I mean, if it goes into the minutes, maybe, but I think I can double check the bylaws. I think you have to submit it in writing to the chair of the board for it to be valid, a bylaw proposal. I'll double check. I can do that while if you guys still want to debate this issue. And then secondly, so you want the chair of each committee to appoint their own co-chair, because that's what Al currently does, or just the secretary?
I think both.
I think if the chair tells me who they want as a co-chair, that's the person I'll appoint. And if they want to do it on their own, that's fine also.
I think we
Usually,
have a problem with co-chairs. I think we have a problem with secretaries. And I know it's a task, but that's why you join this community board. This is a working organization. And it's not just to come once a month and sit there and say, I'm on the community board. People I know on my committee, they go out, they check. They're part of the system. That's what they're there for. We don't need people to sit around and do absolutely nothing. We need people who want to be a part of this community, a part of this council, and that's just part of it. A committee has to have a co-chair because you never know when the chairs are going to be there and somebody has to take control. And it has to have a secretary. So do we start that from the top where the chairman appoints the chair? Does he appoint the co-chair? Does he appoint the secretary? This is all part of the weeding out process. But
yeah, if I make a suggestion, I say vote on this tonight, but in terms of amending the bylaws, I just checked, you do have to submit it in writing to the chairman of the board to for him to bring it up as a bylaw amendment at the next full board meeting. And you can't vote, you can bring it up next week, but you can't vote on until October, which I think you know.
November, you mean?
Yeah, no. Yes.
We usually have to wait a month anyway.
I think the chair people should make that decision. In other words, the chair people should know, what do they want to appoint the secretary, or do they want to have myself or the executive board appoint secretaries for each committee? I mean, we can do it either way. But as far as I see it, once you're chair of a committee, you're in charge of that committee. You can pick and choose who you want to put on that committee and what those people are going to do on that committee. So I don't want to take away the power of the chair, because the power of the chair has a responsibility to set in motion what they want to run, how they want to run that committee. But I'll do it any way you decide. I'll go along with it.
But people don't want to volunteer to be secretary. I think that's the big problem. When the chair asks, nobody's saying, "Yeah, I'll do it." So
the thing is, then the chair. But then the chair says, well, today you take the minutes today. And that's it. You take it this week. Next week, somebody else will take it. We're going to take turns.
Well, it's not happening. That's the thing.
Well, if it's not happening, then the chair calls me and says, look, I can't get somebody. I'm not, and then I'll take somebody off and put somebody else on who will do it. We have to get people on that are going to work.
I agree with that.
Some people take minutes better than others. Some people are not comfortable taking minutes because they don't write well. For whatever reason, they feel uncomfortable writing, doing the minutes. But all you have to do is put down bullets and then fill it in later on.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We're trying to solve a problem. Giving it the option back to the chairs, we're not solving the problem, because we've had the same problem. So sometimes you have to fix the problem by forcing someone to accept that responsibility. When you go into a committee, there are 6 members, 4 are in the meeting. All right, who wants to be secretary? Nobody? Somebody's got to be secretary here. So can we decide? Let's make this less painful. No? All right. Joe Thompson, congratulations, you're secretary. Joe doesn't like it. He doesn't want the responsibility. What's Joe going to do? Maybe resign from the board? Good for him. Good for the community board.
Yeah, hey, not everybody is equipped to take minutes. Taking minutes is not easy. Yeah. It really isn't. And not everybody can handle it. So
but we can train everybody. We can train everybody. Like Al said.
I'm sorry, it's not something that you can train somebody to do. I've been taking minutes of meetings for like 20 something years. So I'm already accustomed to it. And in the beginning, it wasn't easy for me, but I had no choice. I had to learn, but not everybody can do it. It's a very hard skill when you're trying to listen to what's going on and trying to write everything down. And in my committee, I'm having a very hard time because, and Al, you and I are going to have a conversation, because I can't appoint anybody, especially if somebody doesn't show up. And sometimes, I said, sometimes I'm the only one at my meetings.
Hazel and I seem to have the same issues.
Well, Hazel, I will say that with WebEx until December, you can just, if you need to look at YouTube, you can look at YouTube, because I'll upload it to that. So you don't have to take minutes during the meeting. You can go back and look at the recording. Currently.
I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I take my minutes and I'm okay with that. I'm not complaining about it.
Neither am I.
I feel a certain type of way. You're trying to pressure me to do something. You're putting pressure on me.
For anybody that's concerned that if they're taking minutes, they can't follow the meeting. Well, if it's recorded, then that shouldn't be an issue, whether it's in person or here. I mean, I can always upload a audio recording too.
Jeremy, after our meetings, I give you the minutes almost the next day. They're all They've done correctly, they're concise. I don't think you've had an issue with them, so I don't think I should have to be forced to have somebody else do it who I cannot depend on. It should be my choice, not yours, Yahe. I'm sorry.
But
And that's fine. This is part of the discussion. This is why I
understand.
love having this discussion. We all care. If we didn't care, we wouldn't be having this discussion. And I love you for saying what you're saying, because you know what? This is great. Let's have this discussion. I want it. I want to hear it, because again, I feel like we're slacking in one area, and my goal is to strengthen this area. And if we can't, if this doesn't pass, I'm not upset at anybody. I would say I tried. I feel better. I'm going to go to sleep saying I tried.
May I make a suggestion to you? Then maybe you or Al should go after the committees that are having problems with this. If Hazel doesn't have an issue and I don't have an issue and whoever else doesn't have an issue, then deal with the ones that do have problems with it.
Yeah, hey, if I could respond to Andrea. Andrea, prior to last year, how many people were on your committee?
Myself, and then you still got the minutes on a timely basis, and they were concise and they were done
what's
right.
What's wrong with the committee of one? If other people aren't volunteering, you should talk down, boot them off, right? What's wrong with the committee of one?
I don't have a problem with it, and I don't have a problem with the other people, but unfortunately, they're not dependable. Only one person is dependable, and what she tells me, she has too much on her plate to do any more work.
I have a problem with a committee of one, and only because why aren't other people joining? As Yahe said, why aren't other people taking an interest in what's going on in the community board? We have people on the community board that were appointed to help the community. You'd think they would want to get on committees and work on those committees. And one of the biggest problems we have, other than secretary, is the fact that, as Hazel pointed out, people that are not showing up at committee meetings. That's not okay. I mean, especially now it's virtual. It's a piece of cake. Why can't you show up at a committee meeting?
Al, how many of these new members or even the old members who belong to committees only do it because I hate to say that, it looks good on their resume? Oh, I'm chair of this, or I belong to so-and-so committee. But when it comes to doing the work, it's non-existent.
I don't know. The new people are feeling their way, and let's give them a little bit of time.
Okay, but what about the members who've been here a while?
Well, then it's as I said, then talk to me, and I will light a fire. And if they don't want to comply, then we'll just talk to the elected official that put them in and said, look.
How many times have you tell them about attendance and all this, and it's still the same, if not worse?
Well, then I have, but I don't know who doesn't show up at the committee meetings. I have to be told by the committee chair, look, so-and-so hasn't shown up. And I'll either replace that person, and I will call the elected official and say, look, you put this person on, you might as well, tell them to sit home and watch TV, because they're not doing anything.
Yeah, but sometimes people are excused, and
absolutely, and that's forgivable, and that's understandable, and they have families. I understand that, but when it's consistent, that's not okay. And I'm talking about somebody who's consistent. We have people that are consistent 5 or 6 times that haven't shown up to meetings at all, general meetings.
May I throw a loving monkey wrench in here? And it's something I brought up before. If attendance is an issue, I know that when I came on the community board in 2008, we had neighborhood committees, and the attendance was always, there was never an issue with attendance. For example, it would be Van Ness, Morris Park, and Pelham Parkway were the neighborhoods. So the neighborhoods got together and discussed all the categories. A lot was done on an efficient time. And I don't know if that's something that maybe everybody can consider for the future. So I'm just throwing that in there. I know there was never an issue with our neighborhood committees. We got a lot done in one meeting or even 2 meetings. So I'm just throwing it out there as another point of discussion.
And I will bring that up at the next executive board meeting, and it's something that we can revisit.
All right, but since the motion's in progress, I feel better if we finish it off. So we'll do a tally. Jeremy, if you have a piece of paper to log down who's going to vote in which way. We'll start. We'll start with the abstentions. Anyone abstaining? Start with the easy one.
Can you just reiterate the motion now, for everybody?
Sure.
We didn't make
The
the motion
motion.
yet.
Yeah, we
He
did. We
made
got
a
a second. I think. Someone seconded. I forgot.
Bernadette
I
seconded.
seconded it. It's Lisa.
So-
I
Oh,
seconded it.
sorry, Lisa.
That's
Lisa,
okay.
so the motion is to amend the bylaws and require that a committee have a secretary position. And that was basically it, and it was seconded by Bernadette. We had the discussion.
Right.
Any abstentions?
I don't think I second that.
Lisa Soto seconded.
Sorry, Lisa, I apologize. And no abstentions? All right, anyone against?
I am.
I'm
Yeah.
against also.
I am against.
So we have Andrea, Hazel, and Bernadette.
Ken Gelnick also was against.
And Al?
And Al, okay.
Hold on. So, you said Hazel was against?
Yes.
Andrea is against.
Jeremy, it's Ken
Bernadette is
Gelnick.
against.
And Joe Baycoat.
Joe and Al. So I think we're up to 6
And
people again.
Bernadette.
Hold on.
Bernadette.
Yeah, I counted her.
Hold on.
Okay.
The officers can only one vote. Okay.
I think Ken was against also. Ken Gelnick.
Yeah. No. So let me just reiterate. Al, Andrea, Bernadette, Baycoat, Mara, Gelnick. Just 6 people, like Yahya said, right?
Correct.
All right, who's left?
So then,
I'm in favor.
I am against.
So
I'm in
Veronica
favor.
is in favor.
Rabbi's against.
Rabbi's against.
Hold on. John Johnson could not be. He had a family emergency or something. He texted me. So you're aware.
So Joseph Thompson is for.
I'm for it, Lisa.
Motion failed.
Lisa's for. All right.
Motion fails.
So you got only 5 people in favor. So it's Yahya in favor, Veronica, Oral, Joe Thompson, Lisa Soto. Right? That's it?
Yeah, 7 versus 6. All right, it was close.
Try again next time.
I guess I'll never give up. I'll give it another year.
One at 6 months.
I like the idea, Yahya. The only problem is, as Hazel pointed out, sometimes people just don't feel comfortable doing it. And I think it should be the chairman's decision on who she wants or he wants to take the minutes. And they have to be tough enough to say, look, take the minutes.
Right.
Yeah, it's just some of these folks in these committees, they have like these great capabilities of TikTok and Facebook and Twitter during the meetings, and they can like multitask, switch tasks quickly. They can do everything but take minutes. That's too difficult. Anyway, let's move on. Jeremy, go back to the agenda. Since I'm the leadership committee, I won't have anything, so you don't have to list me for the leadership committee on the agenda. And I just want to put the agenda back up so we can vote on it and move on to the next item, please.
Yeah, hey, I do want to thank you for at least trying.
That's all you can do. Thank you.
I will report back to you, Yahya, with my committee, okay, with regards to this.
Yeah, threaten them. Tell them, listen, we barely got past this time. So you better be careful. If I don't get any volunteers, I'm going to be forced to pick you.
Well, I'm going to have to put a horse head on somebody's bed, simple stuff.
Okay.
All right, so,
Everybody's- You see my
Jeremy, are
screen
you
now?
okay with me? Yeah, I see. Are you okay with me, let's see. We have economic development. Okay, continue.
That economic development, I still haven't heard from Mr. Baker if you wanted to give a report. Hazel said yes. I'll reach out to Joanne Terrelonge. Gallery session speakers to be determined. Really, that's it. Just the electeds. So the only motion that I know of currently are economic development.
I'm on. Hello? I'm sorry. I
Oh,
didn't
hey,
sign.
Joanne.
I'm on the train. I'm sorry to work late.
Jeremy?
Were you here for the vote?
Jeremy?
Yeah, Ken.
Yeah, land use is going to have a report on two motions probably. On the on the gyms and on a possible text amendment.
You guys met this month, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I got to add. And you voted. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, so I will put that in there. Yeah, you guys put in no objection to the text amendment, right?
Right. Yeah. Yes. That's the committee voted no objections at the meeting, at the committee meeting.
So yeah, okay. All right. So and then the two Planet Fitness, the other gym, right?
Correct. The two Planet Fitness
Okay.
gyms.
So I'll put them on there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yep, I forgot about that. Sorry. It's a long day today. So then we got motions for economic development and land use. Right. And then outside of that, no changes, no foreseeable changes. I mean, I'll probably add some things to my report. We should have got an email about our new planning fellows. All right.
All right, motion to approve the draft, October 2021 full board agenda. Do I have a second?
I second.
Seconded by Al.
Seconded.
Discussion.
And then one question though. Al, do you have an actual report for, you want to give? I mean, I know you're the chairman, but no offense, but if you have something.
For what, Jeremy?
Do you have anything to announce? Do I need you there?
I'm not hearing you, Jeremy.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, Jeremy, you were breaking up, Jeremy.
Sorry. Chairman's report. You have something, or do you want me to take you off too?
Yeah, I'll have something.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, talk about attendance, Al.
That's exactly.
Like you don't mention it every meeting. All right. Any further discussion?
No.
Any abstentions? Anyone opposed?
Nope.
All right.
Motion
passes. Yeah.
Do you? I don't want to belabor the issue. Do you want to give a report and talk about the failed vote?
No.
I mean,
no.
All right, just checking.
I mean, Al, I do.
Al
My
will
heart
do it.
wants to,
All right.
but I'm going to leave it alone.
All right, Al will.
I think Al's going to
if you
talk
want me-
about attendance. Touch on it, Al. Please do me that favor.
I put attendance here, Al. If you want me to change it, let me know later. But
That's exactly what I was going to talk about, was the attendance. And, again, we're going to have to put some teeth into the attendance. And if we don't do it, last time we did something, remember? We brought it up. We brought somebody up on charges, and the committee voted to let, the full committee voted to not to suspend. We can't do that again. If somebody is not there and they don't have legitimate reasons to be absent 5 or 6 times, then we have to, have to make a move to take them off the board. They're not being productive. I'm talking about without a legitimate excuse. Sometimes people just don't show up, and that's not okay. And even if you have a legitimate excuse 6, 7 times, then you don't belong on the board. You're not helping us. And I understand you can be busy with work or whatever else it is, but if you can't put in your time for the committee, why are you on it?
Will you be putting in your chairman's report the updated status of the new proposal for the homeless shelter and that issue?
Hello?
I think Hazel was going to do that.
Okay.
Hazel, she had a meeting on it.
All right. Thank you. I just wanted to know it was going to be somewhere.
Hello? It's Joanne Turlum. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey,
Joanne,
Joanne,
go ahead.
Okay, I don't know how many times I've been out, but I understand. And if you want to suspend me, it's okay. Did you get that?
Yeah, Joanne, I don't think you've been out that much.
Oh, I understand and don't,
Well, you had, again, it's private stuff, but you had a legitimate excuse.
I'm in the train right now, and I'm sorry. I'm back to work.
It's okay. We'll talk one-on-one, Joanne.
Okay, thank you.
Joanne,
Has left the meeting.
This is not intended towards you. For example, we had a board member last year that forgot they were on the board. They thought they were already left the board. We're like, you haven't been here. He's like, I didn't know I was still on the board.
No, I'm not offended. I understand. But we talk out. Thank you.
All right, I think that motion passes, Jeremy. Can we go to the calendar? And we've already discussed, if you don't plan to have a meeting, we're not going to put you on the calendar. If that changes, then you let Jeremy know instead of just throwing things on the calendar.
So, Bernadette, I don't think you want to have a meeting on Election Day.
Unmute her.
I'm sorry. I
can't.
thought I already had myself unmuted. I usually don't. I usually figure that out. But I'm in total agreement. Election day is not a day to have a meeting. We could even have it on. I don't know if there's any opposition to Wednesday, the 3rd, or any other day of
You want to check with your committee members just to be certain that they don't have obligations and get back to me?
Yes, I will. I definitely will.
Has joined the meeting.
Okay, can I ask something else? Can I reach out to all of the other members of the board and see if there's anybody else that does want to join the Youth and Education Committee? Am I able to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay, great, because I'd like to send an email to everybody. I just wanted to know if that was, protocol.
Yeah, just send it to Jeremy, and Jeremy will forward it to everybody. Say, Jeremy, I would like more members, and he'll forward it to everybody else, and hopefully you'll get some candidates.
Okay, good. I'll do that. Thank you.
And also, Bernadette, at the full board meeting, when it's your time to speak, just say we would like any new members. Is there anybody who's interested? Please get in contact with me.
Very good, Andrea. I will do that also. I'd like to really cover all my bases. Thank you. I'll do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, I took off the entry exit dinger, so it's not interrupting the meeting. Housing, Hazel, that's on Diwali. I don't know if you want to move that as a result.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's a Hindu holiday.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
up to
okay.
you.
No,
Committee.
keep me on.
Doesn't that last for more than one day, though?
Yeah, it's like Hanukkah.
Yeah, it's like so.
But we follow the alternate side calendar thanks to Rabbi Fuchs here, and that's the day it's on alternate side.
So Jeremy, you're going to switch me to Wednesday the 3rd, or I'm going to get back to you.
You said you were gonna get back to me.
Okay.
Joanne Terrelonge, do you want a meeting in November?
We barely had a full, everyone there. I don't know. Can I get back to you on that tomorrow?
Let's take it off. Let's take,
Okay,
I mean, it's up to you. I say we take it off until you know you definitely want it.
okay, yes, thank you.
Unfortunately, I had to call her members of her committee to get more people. to
Yes,
show up.
that was kind of, we only
Um,
had 2 members.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy.
Lisa, Parks?
You can move me to the 10th,
Yep.
7:30.
Equity's not meeting anymore, to my knowledge.
Hey, did we talk about transportation? I might have missed it.
I have it slated for the 8th out of respect for All Saints Day, because I know Rabbi likes to be respectful of all religious holidays. So, is that okay with you, Rabbi, the 8th?
Bernadette, you have, when is the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance meeting?
Sorry. We are going to have it November 1st.
Okay, great. Rabbi, I'm going to try to attend your meeting on the 8th. So, and call for a motion for, to request a one-way street. The street is currently a two-way street. And I think I have enough signatures and enough, complaints in the community to move it to a one-way street. So,
I have stuff to add to that, Yahe.
good stuff or bad stuff?
Good stuff. No, there was a question, and it was a very good question. So I'm actually going to do, I will show it to you because there was a good question. Do you know, should I ask you right now?
We can talk later about it.
Okay.
I just don't want to delay anyone else because people won't know what we're talking about.
Yes, I will, I have to do something. I will send it to you and we'll talk on the phone and whatever.
All right, sounds good. Sorry, Jeremy, you can pull up the calendar back up. So, yeah, the 8th is good. I didn't hear back from Rabbi, but I think just to give him a heads up that I'm going to be attending the meeting.
Yeah, hold on, let me share it. I had to close it, not save it, and make some edits because I screwed something up. So make the that's gonna get back to me.
You have transportation twice, Jeremy.
Yep, no, I know.
Yeah, I think he's working on removing the other one.
Okay. And you have parks twice.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just if I delete it without doing it a certain way, I delete the whole series.
Just letting you know.
Thanks.
That's the wonders of Microsoft Word.
Yeah, this is Calendar Creator.
Even better.
Boon. So it's not Microsoft.
Yeah. You have to work with the application.
Yeah. So whatever, I'll fix it. So Burnett will get back to me. Joe Baycoat, you want a meeting on the 9th? More importantly, you can see that full board is being pushed to the 18th.
Jeremy, you have parks at 7. I wanted it at 7:30.
I know. I like I said, I had to make edits. So I'll get to that. So more importantly, full board is being pushed to 18th because of Thanksgiving on the 25th. Unless you want to have it the week of Thanksgiving, the question is where does leadership go? Because I don't recommend you have it on Veterans Day. I mean, I will not be at that meeting since I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
If you have it on Veterans Day.
How about the 15th?
Yeah.
Or the 19th? Oh, it's a Friday night. Never mind. How about 15th?
Um, you know what? Before I say yes to the 15th, I'm going to pose this question to everybody here. Next month's meeting, instead of doing a poll via email, who wants to attend the leadership committee meeting in person?
I'm fine with that.
Bernadette? Who else?
I'd be okay with that.
I'm fine with
Okay,
that too,
Al.
depending on where it's being held.
Veronica? That's 3.
I'm okay with that. Joe?
Joe's number 4.
Hazel, I'm okay with that.
Hazel's number 5.
Angelica, I'm not okay with that. I'd rather have it on with WebEx.
Okay.
Me also.
Hold on. Let me just get who's for it. So we have 5 people so far. Anyone else in support of attending in person?
What date? For what date?
Just in general, if you're willing to meet in person versus virtual.
We have
Where?
some dates I teach.
Where are we talking? Where will we hold it?
Like Maestros.
I could do that.
That's Ken?
Will there be an option for a hybrid meeting?
We did it last month.
You have to be vaccinated to be at Maestro's.
So if
There's
that's,
a step-
if that's the case, I can't be there.
Me too. That's why I was asking.
All right.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
the problem.
Monday.
That's the problem, y'all. Hey, some people
Yeah.
are not, and that's the same. And, you know, I work for the cities. You probably know all of the crazy things that are going on with the city about this COVID mandate policy, and some of the issues that we're having to, because we want some of the executives. I'm part of that team. Want to meet in person in meeting rooms and things like that, but the policy right now, because people are not vaccinated, they're deciding not to do that until. That's why I think that's why the mandate was set up, because so many people, even at top levels, don't want to get the vaccination. So it's going to be tough right now, y'all. Hey, I don't know. I know I don't mind, but the policy right now with the city is not to meet until more people. Because you know the numbers, you may think the numbers are high with people are vaccinated, but actually there's a lot of people that are not vaccinated, so you have to think about that.
Yeah.
Does
All
the
right.
staff,
Why don't you
staff
think
Friday?
about keeping it remote until January, and then in January we'll all decide what we want to do.
Things might change in January, so we could have to see. Oh.
I agree.
All right.
I agree with Andrea. That's very good, but you have to wait. Yeah, hey, I understand that the wanting to meet. I do too at times, but you really have to think about the whole issue. You know, and what does this look like for us to? I don't know. You have to decide. I don't know if I would set it up right now. I would wait a little bit until some of this heat blows over before we meet. But if you decide to do it, you know, I'll see if I can make it.
Okay. Good input by everybody. We'll hold off and do virtual for next month. Monday the 15th is okay with me at 7 p.m. if it's okay with everybody else here.
And
And
yeah, hey,
we'll
you guys
discuss it
don't.
again. Go ahead.
Full board doesn't have to meet on the 18th. I could push it back, keep leadership on that Thursday if that helps anybody. We could have it not the week of Thanksgiving, the week after Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Thanksgiving.
the week after Thanksgiving, isn't the 30th that they got the 49 precinct meeting?
Yeah, but the 29th, is there anything? 22nd, 23rd?
If there's no objection to the 15th, we'll just go with the 15th. What's the problem?
Let's go with the 15th and keep it with the 18th because, you know, I'm going to be in Florida for the week of the 20th in Disneyland. So
Good for you.
Just trying to give you too much information now, that's all.
you know, I'm just saying if you all are going to be here in New York celebrating Thanksgiving, that's fine. I'm just going to be in a different location.
Lucky you.
All right, so that's a very busy week for everybody. 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th is a meeting every night. Just remember that. Hey, Lisa, you got 7:30. We're good, right? Everybody else, Bernadette, you're gonna get back to me.
Yes.
And I don't, Joe, A code. I don't know if he's still in. Do you have a need for a meeting on the 9th? Press *6 to unmute. You can call me afterwards, Harriet, me afterwards, whatever. It's up to you. All right. I think that's it, yeah.
All right, motion to approve November calendar. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I heard two. Al seconded. Any discussion?
Hi,
All right,
this is Diana Finch from BPECA. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to wait to the gallery, but my question
Hi,
is.
Diana.
Hi.
Hold off, Diana. This is going to be the discussion for the board members. We're going to get to the gallery session soon, and we'll give you as much time as you need.
Okay, because I have a specific question about the calendar and the parks meeting. I put it in the chat.
Hold on a second. All right, Lisa, looks like community organizations meeting on the 10th. I know that calendar is already busy enough. I don't know if we have many options to move the parks.
Yeah, no, looks like the only day.
Jeremy, can you zoom out? I want to see the rest of the calendar, unless you move it to the 3rd, but.
The whole point of moving it period was I didn't want it that first week of the month. So I'm trying to keep it in the second week of the month.
That 3rd might have the youth and education there also.
Yeah, I know how to zoom out on this program. I don't have a regular mouse, so.
Can you scroll down?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a way to zoom out. I just don't know how to do it right now. I mean, it doesn't have to be before the full board meeting, does it, Lisa? I mean,
If that's when she wants it, leave it.
No, that's actually, well, the problem is if I move it to, I don't want to do it the week of Thanksgiving. And if I move it to the 29th or the 30th, then it's just really close to the very next meeting. So
Would 6 p.m. Hurt your schedule or the committee members?
no, that's why I'm moving it to 7:30. I can't do 6 p.m. I work in Manhattan.
And going later, 8 p.m., would that hurt or no?
No, I don't even like being on these meetings past 8 o'clock, quite frankly.
All right, let's continue before we lose Lisa then. So, all right, so the calendar's put where it is. Any discussion from any board members? Any abstentions? Anyone against? All right, motion passes. Next item on the agenda, I believe it is the gallery session. So moving on to.
Sorry, Yahe, I'm on the phone, so just let me know when it's my turn to speak. Thank you.
Okay, actually, while you're unkeyed right now, we'll start with you, Ms. Delgado. Go ahead.
Are you sure? I don't mean to skip in front of anyone. It's just that I'm on the phone, and I just want to make sure I'm this. That's all.
No, it's fine. You can go ahead.
Okay. I should discuss the minutes first. As you were seeing the email between Mr. Locania, yourself and me, and I think the district manager, I made complaints regarding the minutes because this has been going on way before you even were put on the board. You said you were frustrated. I have emails dated 5 years ago with the same issue where minutes were not provided to me upon request within the 2 weeks frame mandated by the open meeting law. And every time I make complaints, I get the same response from the chair where he says he's going to put fire to make sure people do the minutes. But as you can see, it continues throughout the 5 years that I've been requesting minutes where they're not provided or they don't even exist. In some cases, we have minutes for months that don't even exist, and there was no transcript done. So thankfully, we don't have any record of those meetings that were conducted. To make this short, you cannot force volunteers. They're volunteers, and you have to respect volunteers' time. They're not being paid for it. They're sacrificing their own time to serve on the board. In other community boards, not just in the Bronx, but throughout the city, the staff does the minutes. And you know why staff does the minutes? To ensure that it's done timely as mandated by the open meeting law. But more importantly, it's done consistently, meaning that even though many people take minutes as they're taking notes, but minutes require a criteria that's specified in the open meeting law where it states that it must name every person that spoke and what they spoke about. In many of the minutes, that's not done. It's more like taking attendance, but they don't mention specifically what the person spoke about, where they're were for or against a specific item on the agenda, any residents. So that has not been done properly on the minutes. Where in my case, Roxanne Delgado spoke about the homeless issue, but they doesn't say Ms. Delgado spoke in opposition or in support. I mean, you have to specify when the person speaks not only what they spoke about, but their position on that, and that has not been done. So I really think you should consider having minutes done by staff, because with staff, you could actually force them to do minutes, and you could hold them accountable when they don't do it on a timely or proper manner. So this really needs to be addressed, because this has been going on for 5 years, where I'm actually going to make a large complaint to Albany, because this is a pure violation of the open meeting law, which is taken very seriously, because it's government transparency by entities that are funded by taxpayers. Okay, I'll move on to the second issue, the budget priority. I was not even aware of this meeting because, first of all, I didn't receive any email about it. It's not something I would look for in the calendar, because I did not expect that would be put on the calendar. And lastly, the city charter mandates public notice either in your local newspaper or the city record announcing that this public city budget meeting would take place, which Community Board 10 did. They published on their news Bronx Times, which I Googled it. But CB11 did not. And this is, again, a violation of the city charter.
Roxanne, may I respond to you?
Yes.
We did have a public hearing. It was advertised. It was on Facebook. It was on everybody's homepage. It was on the community board page. We did have people attend. If you weren't aware of it, I don't know what else to tell you.
First of all, the city charter does not mandate social media. And don't assume that I'm on social media, because even though I do post on social media, I barely look at anyone's page, honestly, because Facebook is not real. I really don't take anything as credible on Facebook. However, I do read the local newspaper, and I do look at city record, and this mandate by the city charter that should be put either on the city record or newspaper, or at least send an email. No email was sent out about this. And this is a meeting doesn't take place every month. So it's to say, for me to say, like, I didn't know Parks meeting was going to take place, it's nonsense, because the Parks meeting usually holds the meeting monthly on the first week of the month. So for me to say I did not know would be disingenuous. But for me to know this budget hearing, and that's not right. So that should have been done properly. Even if they couldn't publish it in the paper, they should have done the courtesy email, which they refused to do so. Well, I'm going to make another point about this. Lastly, and that's nothing to do with you, Ms. Siegel. It has to do with your district manager. It's his job to do this, not yours. Lastly, the third point regarding e-scooters. Again, I get very frustrated with the misinformation, because someone said it was 3 years program. That is nonsense. Initially, if you read the city council law on this e-scooter, which was unanimously passed by city council, including Mark Jonai, it states it could be no less than 1 year, but no more than 2 years. When the e-scooter companies announced the launch of this program, they say it's going to be a 1 year, but now recently DOT announced they're going to extend it to 2 years, and they did this without any public notice. And this should be considered seriously, because people say, oh, we don't want to be against it. we fix it. You can't fix something because you're putting something that doesn't fit in this neighborhood. It works well in other areas that are not car culture, that has the infrastructure. Right now, you have e-scooters not only driven by minors, but they're all over the sidewalks. You have people, there's no safe area for pedestrians. Imagine a senior or disabled person having to navigate on their own sidewalk. Sorry, I'm outside. Against with e-scooters being driven recklessly by riders who are not even old enough to vote. Can you imagine what we deal with on a regular basis? And lastly, sorry, this email or whatever letter you guys send to DOT, you must say to them that they must do a city council review after the one-year pilot and take public input, because they are ignoring public input, because the majority of people in this area are just so fed up with e-scooters. It's becoming a quality of life issue and a safety issue. So again, the misinformation to say this is a 3-year program, when all you have to do is Google, and I'm talking about the board member, I'm talking about the staff. They're paid to make sure they inform or provide accurate information before any meeting is taking place. And it states clearly this program is going to be no less than 1 year, no longer than 2 years. And if there was any reason to cancel this pilot program due to any safety issue, like God forbid someone gets killed today, God forbid, they might just put a stall on the program because they can risk another death. We really need to consider the fact that this works in other cities, but it doesn't fit in the north and east side of the district. Last issue, because I'm also running late because I need to go home. I'm stuck at work because I had to wait for this meeting. Number four, Mother Teresa, and this is, I'm not going to make this short, but the fact is that it's shameful how at the full board meeting, not only was none of our concern addressed, but there was misinformation where the DM said that Marjola is donating. It's not donation. You misled the vote for people to vote on something they had no facts on. Believe me, this issue, I'm not going to make any threats here, but I can guarantee you it's going to backflash on certain people at this meeting right now, because they did this circumventing the public input, and they misled a vote where they actually told people that Joe Knight donated the money. There's a difference between donated and funded projects. So anyhow, I don't expect any response, but this is my 2 cents, and thank you.
Thank you, Roseanne. Roxanne.
Ms. Finch, Diana Finch, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
So I just wanted to ask again about the scheduling of the committee meetings. Do you have like a rule that you don't schedule them on the same days as the community organization meetings? And if so, put it in the record now that the second Wednesday of the month is the BPECA meeting date. And we were able to find a place to meet indoors. So we're now back on for second Wednesday of every month. And the Parks Committee is one that's very important to our members because there's so much park land in our area, in our neighborhood. So thanks for thinking about trying to reschedule it, but going forward, can we please block off the second Wednesday? Thanks.
Look, Diana, this is Lisa, just so you know, this is just a one-time thing because of the scheduling issues with this month, but the new date we discussed at the last meeting is going to be the second Thursday of the month at 7:30. It just happens to be that this month was a little tight and we had to move it due to the holiday.
Okay.
I think Diane's comment is well taken. Maybe if, Jeremy, you could find out when the local community organizations have their meetings. And, we can try to appoint. We can't, obviously, we're not going to be able to, satisfy everybody. But if there's a way of having meetings where the local community associations don't have their meetings on those days, I think that would be beneficial. Because the people that go to the community meetings are people that are interested in the community. And, they would probably attend our meetings also.
Right, we have community board members in BPECA too. But thanks, Alan, Lisa.
All right, looking through the list here. Do we have any other members of the public that would like to speak during the gallery session? Guess no one else. All right, let me go back to the agenda. Item number 5 on the agenda, old business. Do we have any old business?
We do have old business. It was regarding having public input before you take any vote on any motion. That was discussed last month and seems to be ignored now.
What
Any
was
other
that to
old
have?
business?
No.
All right, new business. See, everybody's drained. This is a good thing. It's 8:30. I guess it's all right. Thank you everybody for joining the meeting tonight. I really appreciate your 90 minutes or 91 minutes or 95 minutes. It's good to see everybody. It's good that everybody cares, and you know, I feel it in this meeting. Thank you so much from really from the bottom of my heart. And I hope everybody stays safe. If no one else has anything, we'll close this meeting.
Good night,
Meeting ended at 8:30 p.m.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Stay safe.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Night.